The U.S. Carrier Strike Group, led by the most expensive warship, the USS Gerald Ford, immediately arrived in the eastern part of the Mediterranean. The group also includes the cruiser Normandy and 3 destroyers, Thomas Hudner, USS Remnant, and USS McFall. This has led to the sudden emergence of a huge military contingent consisting of 4 squadrons of modern 5th-generation F-35C fighter bombers and 4th-generation FA-18 Hornet fighter bombers. In addition, the group has 4 Tomahawk strike missile carriers, each of which can carry up to 96 such missiles, for a total of 110 missiles in one strike. It is important to note that Tomahawk missiles have a range of up to 1,100 kilometers. More information on the need for this significant U.S. naval contingent in the Middle East is provided in our video. According to official statements by the U.S. government, the aircraft carriers stationed off the coast of Israel are intended to deter neighboring countries, including Lebanon and Iran, from further interference in the conflict. Many military experts agree with this point of view, believing that aircraft carrier strike groups are indeed necessary to stop other states, including Iran, from engaging in conflicts. However, their importance goes far beyond these limitations. The key aspect is that the destroyers of these groups are equipped with Aegis missile defense systems, and they are primarily designed to protect Israeli territory from ballistic missiles. They have been successful in striking missiles trying to reach Israel, including those from Iranian-backed Houthis from Yemen, who would try to launch ballistic missiles and long-range kamikaze drones in the direction of Israel. It is important to note that in order to successfully neutralize these threats, U.S. Navy ships will have to cross almost the entire length of the Red Sea. Depending on the need, this system can be deployed to strike any country in the Middle East. However, this would require official U.S. intervention in the conflict. Statements we hear indicate that the United States is ready for such intervention in the event of Iranian aggression. But will this arsenal be sufficient to reassure Iran and prevent its active involvement in the conflict? Over the past 2 decades, Iran, despite severe economic sanctions, has successfully developed an impressive military capability equipped with modern ballistic missiles, attack drones, and other powerful weapons. For a closer look at how the Americans can counter the Persians, let's take a closer look at a major asset, the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, which is the most powerful warship in the world. The Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, codenamed CVN-78, was launched at the Newport News shipyard in Virginia in 2005. The total cost of its construction was $12.8 billion, and another $4.7 billion was spent on the development of this new aircraft carrier. It is worth noting that the USS Gerald Ford became the 11th operational U.S. aircraft carrier and the first in its class, as a counter to the other 10 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers of the Nimitz class. In October 2013, the USS Gerald Ford was launched, and in 2017, it became part of the U.S. Second Fleet in the North Atlantic, replacing the USS Enterprise, CVN-65, which was decommissioned in 2012. The Gerald Ford aircraft carrier is impressive in size. The ship is 337 meters, or 1,105 feet, long, 78 meters, 256 feet wide, and its height above the waterline exceeds a 10-story building. The ship's total displacement is 112,000 tons. Despite its enormous size, the ship impresses with its speed, up to 30 miles per hour, which is equivalent to watching a huge house rushing past you. The Gerald Ford had a crew of 4,539 people, including 2,600 crew members, 508 officers, about 2,500 aircrew members, and 70 staff commanders. Thanks to the automation of many processes, the number of crew has been reduced to 2,600, which is 700 fewer than on previous Nimitz aircraft carriers. The aircraft carrier can carry up to 90 helicopters and combat aircraft. It has a maximum capacity to deploy 48 multi-role fighters, consisting of 4 squadrons. Combat aircraft can be found on the deck of the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier in 2 versions: 24 units of 4th-generation FA-18 Hornet deck-based fighter bombers and 2 squadrons of 5th-generation F-35C multi-role fighter bombers. It is important to note that Gerald R. Ford is the fourth U.S. Navy aircraft carrier to include a deck-based version of the F-35C fighter, and the number of stealth aircraft on this carrier exceeds the total number of such aircraft in the entire Russian armed forces. Note that the F-35C version does not support short takeoffs and vertical landings, as does the F-35B, which is designed for U.S. amphibious assault ships. The F-35C requires a catapult and hook to take off and land on the deck of an aircraft carrier, and this involves modernizing the deck itself. In addition to these aircraft, the carrier is also home to Sikorsky SH-60 Seahawk multi-role helicopters, SH-60F Ocean Hawk anti-submarine warfare helicopters, HH-60H Seahawk deck search and rescue helicopters, and Sikorsky CH-53 Sea Stallion heavy amphibious transport helicopters. In addition, the aircraft carrier has two Grumman E-2 Hawkeye long-range radar detection aircraft. The F-35C is capable of carrying payloads of up to 8,160 kilograms, including air-to-air missiles such as the AM-120 AMRAAM, AM-132 ASRAAM, AM-9X Sidewinder and Iris-T, as well as air-to-surface missiles such as the AGM-154 JSW, AGM-158 JSSM, and GBU-31 JDAM guided bombs. As for the FA-18 Hornet fighter bomber, it can carry up to 7 tons of weapons, including air-to-air missiles such as the AEM-120, AIM-7 Sparrow and AIM-9 Sidewinder, air-to-surface missiles such as the AGM-88 Harm, Taurus and AGM-84 Harpoon, as well as Mark 80 unguided bombs and CBU-87 and JDAM guided bombs. The Gerald R. Ford aircraft carriers have powerful anti-aircraft weapons, including 2 Mk-49 surface-to-air launchers, each equipped with 21 RIM 116A missiles designed to engage targets at ranges up to 10 kilometers, and 2 Mk-29 8-container launchers armed with RIM 1162 ESSM missiles to combat fast and maneuverable anti-ship missiles at ranges up to 50 kilometers. The aircraft carrier's artillery includes 2 20mm Phalanx Mk-15 Block II 6-barrel guns, which operate on the principle of a radar-guided Gatling gun system and produce an impressive volume of fire at a rate of 4,500 rounds per minute. These guns are designed to repel anti-ship missiles with subsonic flight speeds. 5 M2 BMG 12.7mm heavy machine guns are installed for close defense. The aircraft carrier's propulsion system includes 2 A-1B nuclear reactors that supply electrical and propulsion energy for all systems. The total thermal capacity of the A-1Bs is approximately 700 milliliter, which is about 25% higher than the thermal capacity of the A-4W reactors used on the Nimitz-type ships. The A-1B reactors generate enough steam to produce 125 millibars or 168,000 horsepower of electricity, plus 260 millibars or 350,000 horsepower to turn the 4 propeller shafts. Electricity for the ship's main systems and new electromagnetic catapults is supplied by 4 groups of Westinghouse steam turbines. Thanks to the A-1B reactors, the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carriers have an almost unlimited range. Without replacing fuel rods, these ships can operate for 50 years, allowing them to cover any distance. The autonomy of navigation is limited only by water and food supplies and is 120 days. The maximum speed of the aircraft carrier is 30 knots. The Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier is equipped with innovative EMALS catapults that use an electromagnetic rather than a steam principle of operation. This means that there is no visible emission of steam during takeoff. While Nimitz had 4 steam catapults, Gerald R. Ford had only 3 electromagnetic catapults, but they provided 160, and if necessary, even 220 aircraft departures per day. This is almost twice as many as on Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. In fact, by sending the Gerald R. Ford to the Middle East, the United States sent 2 aircraft carriers. Even with the installation of energy-intensive equipment such as catapults, this ship produces a significant energy surplus. According to the U.S. Navy Command, Only half of the electricity generated is currently used by the systems, and the other half remains available for future technologies. And what technologies can these be? First of all, these are laser systems. The need for them for a $13 billion aircraft carrier is not only relevant, it is extremely important. New anti-ship missiles, especially from China, some of which are capable of maneuvering at hypersonic speeds of more than Mach 5, pose a threat to the Gerald Ford aircraft carrier and other American ships. Just as Japan used a new technology, assault squadrons, to sink the most powerful American and British battleships during World War II, these new missiles could hit even the most advanced ships sailing the oceans today. While Russia also has hypersonic weapons, China has become the primary concern for the U.S. Navy. Over the past decade, China has intensively expanded its fleet, which currently has 770 ships, twice the number of ships in the U.S. Navy. In addition, China has developed various types of anti-ship weapons, including highly maneuverable hypersonic missiles that can travel at Mach 10. One of the training grounds located in the Taklamakan Desert even has full-size models of American aircraft carriers that they use for testing and target practice. The fate of the most powerful ship in the world can be determined by a single accurate hypersonic shot. To avoid this and prevent the aircraft carrier from suffering the fate of battleships since World War II, the Pentagon is actively using laser systems. Regardless of how fast or powerful anti-ship missiles become, the U.S. Navy hopes that its advanced lasers will be able to eliminate this threat from the sky at a cost no higher than the price of a cup of coffee. The use of lasers has numerous advantages. When powered by a powerful source of electricity, and thanks to the large nuclear reactors of the Gerald Ford ship, they can fire at the speed of light, eliminating the threat of hypersonic weapons. They can reload quickly to repel drone attacks. They also do not require ammunition replenishment, giving the ship virtually unlimited firepower. In general, an aircraft carrier strike group has enough equipment to intercept dozens of missiles, approaching at a distance of up to 320 kilometers, 200 miles. However, it becomes defenseless when it runs out of fire interceptors on the ship, which must be stored and replenished after combat. Some ammunition can be replenished at sea, but missiles need to be reloaded in port. The Pentagon has characterized this as a magazine depth problem that enemies can exploit in massive attacks. Laser systems solve this problem definitively. Experts estimate that a laser with a power of at least 300 kilowatts is needed to stop a barrage of cruise missiles or hypersonic weapons traveling at Mach 5 or higher. It seems that such a weapon is already being realized. The Navy plans to begin testing a 300 kilowatt laser next year and has named this experimental weapon Hellcat, the High Energy Laser Counter-Circumvention Hellcat program. ASCM stands for Anti-Ship Cruise Missile Program, but this is still in the future. In the meantime, the carrier strike group led by the USS Gerald R. Ford has clearly demonstrated American power in the Middle East and has clearly shown Iran what consequences it will face if it tries to attack Israel. We strongly hope that the United States will be able to use Gerald Ford to prevent this conflict from escalating and to prevent it from turning into World War III. On this positive note, our video ends. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell to receive notifications and leave your feedback in the comments. And see you soon.